So let's have a look at a couple of garden beds. These are the first two that I started, and as we can see, got some beautiful cos lettuce coming away there. That's the next planting of those, so that we'll keep those going. We've got spring onions, very hard to see down here at the moment, but they're coming away nicely. We have 3 cherry tomatoes, and we have a full-size tomato called Moneymaker. Setting quite a bit of fruit already, quite a few trusses there, and should do well. We've got a red capsicum, we have a yellow capsicum, and no one was needing this space here in the interim period, so there's some radish planted in there. Over this side we've got some green beans, and the rest of the bed at the moment is down to these golden nugget pumpkins, which are a bush type pumpkin rather than trailing, and we'll discuss those in another video. So the question is, how do we get from bare dirt that hadn't been touched in years to a fertile garden? So I started out by turning both the beds over with a garden fork. The one on the left here wasn't in quite such bad condition as the one on the right. You can see that I've extended the height of the fence here. This side was never really used because the cows and the horses could reach over and actually just pluck whatever you'd planted straight out of the ground. So I've raised the height of the fence to stop that. Now when I turned this bed over, I found one worm. So by the time I finished the process I'm about to explain, there was 1 to 4 worms every forkful I turned over. This soil was very compacted, had very little organic matter in it, so I covered it once it had been turned over with cow manure, which I then forked into the soil, and I then put about 75 3 inches of pea straw mulch on top of that, and then I incorporated that into the soil as well. So that's upped our water holding ability. It's given the worms something to eat. Excuse me. And it's generally contributed to the overall health of the soil itself. So if we have a look at what is happening here under the mulch, you can see beautiful friable soil. Look at that. You can grow anything in that. So we added animal manure, we added pea straw. The thing I like about pea straw is that it forms a crust on the top very quickly that is still water permeable, but it doesn't blow away like sugarcane mulch and all that sort of stuff. Excuse me. So the mulch is doing a wonderful job insofar as it's keeping the soil, as we say, light and friable. It's not being compacted. Next year or next season I won't be digging these beds over. I'll just be putting on a light cover of manure and then mulching again. So the idea is that what's happening now is the earthworms are coming up through the soil and they're depositing their castings or their poo on top of the soil under the mulch. So when it rains or when I water, that's actually being washed back into the garden. So the idea is to try and create a cycle that is as self-sustaining as possible. We just feed the worms and let the worms keep making all their holes, which are allowing water and oxygen into the soil, which are very important. They're adding their manure, and we're just letting Mother Nature do the work for us. So by incorporating all that cow manure, we introduced all the beneficial bacteria. We introduced the mycorrhizal fungus, the mycelium. Everything that we need is in that bed, and we should not need to add anything until, as I say, the end of the season. And then next season we just plant out a bit more mulch and away we go. Good healthy soil, growing good healthy plants. If you have a look at the colour of these tomatoes, that's telling you that they are just so healthy, they're so happy. The same with these cos. You look at these colours. Let your eyes be the guide. It's the most important thing when you look. Actually teach yourself to see. So you're looking. Are there any pests? Is there any sign of disease? Is there any discoloration? Are my plants happy? If not, why not? Alrighty, that's it for this one. And we'll be back with more and more and more. So I'll talk to you soon.